Hello, this video is to show how the RGB2VGA adapter works. I'm seeing some people are building their own and I just made a quick manual. I just committed a new code that is specific for Cocoa Tree. It has some switch to be used with it. The board needs the Altera Nano DE0. You need to buy this unit because the board is just a shield for enabling the digitizing process. The image generated is directly output to the VGA monitor. You can see here there's a trimmer. This is to control the color levels, because some cocos they have different voltage. If you're seeing some noise or some colors floating, you just adjust it with a small screwdriver and you can find the perfect color balance. The other switch, they're not used for the cocoa tree, so probably they're going to be a jumper and you just leave them open. The first switch here is the scan line. The last switch is the shrink. It does image shrink. It's interesting for some games or for some. Now it's in shrink mode. I'm going to show the difference. This is shrink mode. The 8 column in shrink and unshrinked. There you go. If, for example, if you type all the way, you have the ABC, so it uses 100% of the screen. In non-shrink, in shrink mode, you have some border. You can actually see the border colors. And if you want to see it without scan lines, shrinked. So this is the stability of the colors. When you turn off, you have this fancy color bar. It's used to calibrate your monitor. You must see all 8 shades of, well, the first shade is always black, but you must see 7 shades of red, green, blue, and gray. There is an interesting program. It's called 64 colors. This is useful for calibrating your RGB2VGA. This little code shows all cocoa tree colors. You see, this must be yellow, the last one here. With scan lines you can see better, and you can see the difference between these colors. Those two, they're different. The scan lines will help you to see them. One thing is about the length of this cable. For example, if I make it close enough to Super IDE, I start getting noises on little dots running. It's better if you can make a shielded one, would be better. I'm gonna show the trimmer, how the effect of the trimmer is. You see, just saturate colors, unsaturate them. You just need to calibrate once. Once it's calibrating, you don't see noise, that is good. You can have it in shrink as well. To show the quality of the colors, I like playing Arachnoid because it has some special shades of blue that it was very hard to put them into the RGB VGA. You can see, and if you hit the shrink, losing it. One thing about the shrink mode is that it makes the aspect ratio correct. Something that would be a circle in non-shrink mode, it could be an oval or something like. Then the shrink mode gets a square pixel. There is another setting that you must use for the 8-column mode. Show this for you. I don't know why some computers, they will have an overscan here. So using the 4 switches here, you can adjust to left or right. So you can add a small calibration to not cut your characters. I hope they are enough for all Cocoa trees. If not, we need to generate a new version and you have to reprogram. Another nice feature of the RGB VGA is the artifact colors. We have 2 switches here. Turn this artifact on and make it reverse, so you don't have to boot, because the boot doesn't make any sense here. Let me restore. Shutter time. As always, you can turn off scan lines, you can shrink, you can play the way you want. The colors there, I tried to make a good emulation of the artifact mode. This was the best I could make on the FPGA. Yeah, the experience is unique. It's like playing a VCC or MES direct on your monitor, but the thing is that the image is being captured from your real Cocoa. One thing is that don't leave the artifact mode on when you go for other screens, otherwise whenever you have a white screen it will try to put the artifact on, and you don't want it, because I don't have another way to signalize to tell the Cocoa or the RGB2VGA that I'm in the artifact mode. I need a switch for that, but if you leave the switch on, whenever it gets a white border it will try to make it artifacted. Then I think this covered the basics of the RGB. It does have it has an external connector, and you can use, for this you have to turn on those 2 switches. They are to make the sync from this LM, so you can use an Amiga, Sinclair, any other computer by switching the sync. But for then you would need the generic version of the program instead of the Cocoa. The generic version has different switches, has bright, has an extra offset, but it works a little different. For the Cocoa tree you just leave it, and you can also use the composite. you can get from, you don't get colors from the composite. It's useful for Apple II or other monochrome computers. And using the Apple II, you have to switch, you have to turn all three switches, because this switch here, it will take the composite and feed the LM for sync separation. Using this switch or this composite, you can get a good Apple II display on RGB, and setting artifacts on, you can emulate the Apple II colors, all the 16 colors. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoy your board, and I'm developing a new one. I just have the Altera here. I don't. It's not an Altera. It's a Chinese cheap board. Oh, everything just falls. Here, this little board is way less expensive. Costs $30. It's a smaller Altera, smaller Altera chip, and the thing is, it has nothing. It doesn't have memory. It doesn't have just a reset button. And I'll need to add extra components like static RAM and other things that will increase the price. But I hope that I make it work well. I'm still waiting my USB blaster to arrive. Once I get the prototype working, it will take 2 or 3 months to get it done. But for those that cannot wait, you can just get the RGB2VGA from the Nano. Well, the good, because the Nano is very powerful, so you won't be losing your money. You can use it for other things as well. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.